Okay, we're looking at the yen pairs for Monday, October the 9th, 2023. London session only. So, the first signal we get or we look for is this break of the Asian range. We get that break of the Asian range on the yen at the close of the 645. So at this time, we're looking to short the crosses. So 645 brings us here. Okay, so you'll see we're late for the entry. So the thing to do here would be to look for a logical pullback. So the best pullback would be a pullback to the bottom of the Asian range, which we don't get. And on the euro, it's exactly the same scenario. 645 puts us here, and we get no pullback. Arguably, this may have worked, but you probably wouldn't have got it. Okay, it definitely didn't come back to here. And on the AJ 645, we have what looks like, so at 645, that's what you're seeing, right? This candle on the right of the screen here is 645. We're just about to break the low. So if you wait for that low to break and you put your sell stop in here with your stop above here, so 25 pips, you'd get taken in and it would be a losing trade. Okay, now the thing with this is, when you get an Asian range break like this is good enough to take the short, but as soon as it comes back in like this with an engulfing candle very quickly, it hasn't spent any time down here, you want to start looking for the possibility of an Asian range fake to take it long. Okay, so this is 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, we have the potential for an Asian range fake, take it long. So we have a tight stop below here, and either this or this can be our target. Now, in order to take that, we need some kind of a confluence. So at 7 o'clock, I want to see what's happening on the yen. The yen at 7 o'clock, okay, it's still going up. With a little bit of selling coming in here, but this is the 7 o'clock. This is so the 7 o'clock has a wick on it, but it's not enough by itself. It needs to be breaking some type of a level. Going through midnight open, something like that. It's not doing that. So the yen isn't giving us enough to go long on this. So the third thing that you can look at is what the Aussie aggregate is doing. So that's just all the Aussie pairs put together. So this is Monday the 9th, and what we want to see is some type of strength coming in at 7 o'clock. And you'll see this is the bar here. But again, it's not really, it isn't clear enough because we're in the middle of the Asian range. We haven't had a liquidity take. All we've got is this 5-minute engulfer. So although in hindsight this Aussie yen long would have been a very good trade, we didn't have enough to take it. Okay, so back to the yen. Okay, so that was the first signal we got. It's the break of the Asian range. Then we come into this London open, and then we get these moves below, but they're not really clear until this one happens. The problem with this is it's coming right into midnight open, so we want to see how it responds to midnight open, and you'll see immediately it comes down there and it's an engulfing candle up. So this looks like it's going to be a continuation. It could be a continuation. So we're looking for yen longs, which means GJ, EJ, AJ shorts at 9.25. Okay, so 9.25, that puts us around here. So you could take this short. Why? Because we already had the 5-minute close below the ODR, and now we're at a premium of this range. Okay, so it's up to you exactly where and how you want to take it. You could just wait for that 9.25 to print and enter at the close of that, back a few pips. If you put it here, you wouldn't have got taken in. So anyhow, the trade was okay. That's on the GJ, 9.25. EJ, similar kind of thing, so it's already started to turn over. So at 9.25 here, we're about to have this break of structure on the 5-minute, so you could enter at the close of that, 10 pip stop, and you do get 25 pips. The only difference with this, so the EJ hasn't closed below, okay, whereas it has closed just above, okay, but GJ, we did get the close below that, so supposedly there's a 2-to-1 chance of a short working out without price going above here. So that was that. So where were the best trades here today? They were not available by following the basic Asian range break rule. Okay, if you look at the individual pairs, you'll see what happened on the GJ. Ignore this red line. Well, actually this red line demarks quite well. What you have is 1 liquidity, 2 liquidity, 3 pivots. So there's a lot of liquidity here. It hasn't taken the high of the Asia. Ideally you'd want it to take the high, but it's taken, call it half session liquidity. So when that happens, which is here, okay, that's 610, you want to start looking for the possibility of shorts. What kind of things do you want to look for? So number one, you want a break of structure. So you could drill down to a 1 minute, but we're just going to keep to a 5 minute. So if let's say we're waiting for a 5 minute break of structure, we get that here. Okay, that's the close of the 625. At 625, what's happening? So the yen has come down here. At 610, it's gone below the POC, and then we get this buy-in coming in. Okay, 625, we're here. So it's not a perfect trade if we're using the yen index as our primary indicator. But the argument you can make for it is that number one, we're below the midnight open. Number two, we've come down to the POC, we're rejecting the POC and we're moving up. So for example, this happens at 610, right? The engulfing candle up at a significant level, 610, corresponds with this. It's 610. It's taking the liquidity and it's starting to move down. So there was a potential good short in there. EJ, kind of similar. The only thing is we didn't take out as much liquidity. Okay, we didn't take these two out, and we didn't even take this minor. But what happened? So it's come up to POC, it's engulfed once, and at 610 we're engulfing again. So engulfing, and we're kind of breaking a 5 minute structure. So you could take shorts with 10, 15 pip stops, and they would have worked out. Okay, just a quick note on what's happening with the AJ, because whenever you're looking to take a short, you want as many factors of confluence as you can find. So if it's logical that this looks like a good place for it to be turning, I'd be looking at this primarily because it's taken liquidity clearly. Okay, and there is an argument here because we've come into the POC, we're below midnight, and we're starting to see buying coming in. You want to see similar things happening across the board. So what's happening on the AJ? It's not taking a fractal high, but look, if this is the range, it's come back into a premium, and this is the 610 candle. This is a fair value gap. It's starting to reject off this fair value gap. So between them, there is a justification. There could be a justification for a trade. The point is that if you're waiting for very often, if you're waiting for the Asian range high or low to break on the index, as it did here on the 645, what you'll find is sometimes you get a great trade, but sometimes you're a bit late to it and you don't get the pullback that you want. So you can look for those things on the like the things that you normally look for, i.e. liquidity takes, on the individual charts, and then if you can find a couple of different factors of confluence on other charts to build your narrative, you can take your trade from there.